Here comes my cut of cars. And we'll couple it on to these idle cars, the rest of my train here. Let's see if we can do a good couple here without an edit. See if I can do it without spilling the coffee in the caboose. Alrighty, we've got them. Okay, now for the next phase of all this. We'll be pulling this train out of the yard, heading out onto the main. Do a little drone fly over here. Got us a pretty long train. Alright, here's the next part of this operation. This train is eastbound, leaving the yard, going to Chicago. But what we have to do is we've got to turn it around for its next run, so it'll be a westbound train. Oh, I forgot to blow the horn and ring the bell going over the crossing. There. So what I have on my layout is I have two reverse loops. One to turn them westbound and one to turn them eastbound. So I'm going through this crossover here in Jefferson, so I can take this reverse loop to turn this train around and make it a westbound train the next time it runs. So it's going to go into staging as a westbound turn, if that makes any sense to you. Going to take this switch right here, and this is going to turn the train around. During an operating session, I will not turn the trains around until later on when I'm by myself, because it clutters up the layout too much trying to turn these big trains around during an operating session. So I just put them back in the staging the way they came out as an eastbound, and then gives me something to do in my off time. I'll come up to the train room and turn the trains around, because I'll show you something else that I have to do with these before they're finally put in this staging area. So this is going down a different track, which will turn this train in the other direction. We'll go around the other side and follow it. Here it comes. Can you guys see what's happening here? You look way down there, there's the tail end of the train. Pretty long train. Hope it fits on this reverse loop. Oh, the drama. So I'm at the end here where it will meet itself. So I need this caboose to clear this switch. It's going to be a close one. Boy, did it just clear. We couldn't have fit one more car on that train. So now it's turned around and it's going westbound. It's going the other direction. So here comes our train. Okay, I said I had to do something before I could put this train back in staging. Here's this stack of cards, the 20 cards that I just picked up. So now I've got to turn every one of these waybills over. Like that's number 1, it's got to go to the number 2, and the next one's number 3, it'll have to go to number 4. So I'm going to turn all these waybills around and then put it in the box. And there's one other thing I have to do before I can put this train in the staging that I'll show you. Okay, I stopped this train just short of this crossing, so my signals are out. Let's see if we can trigger them. But that's not really what I wanted to show you. Okay, 99% of my cars that have exposed loads, such as open hoppers, gondolas, such as that, and flat cars, bulkhead flats, so on, all have removable loads. So when I flip the cards, and I'll show you an example, I pulled one of the cards out so you could see. This gondola here, right there, has got a scrap metal load in it, as you can see. Alright, when I flip this card was on number 2 before I flipped it, and you can see it says content scrap metal. So what I did, I flip it over to number 3 slot for its next destination. See, it says empty. So what I got to do is before I put it into staging, I've got to pull that scrap metal load out of it, so it'll be empty when it comes back up on the layout again. It'll be an empty car because it's going to Marshalltown and it's going to the scrap metal place, so it'll be an empty car. And it just so happens that the gravel car that's in front of it, this hopper car, when I flipped it, it still kept the gravel load, so it doesn't get pulled. It just stays there. Evidently, it's going somewhere else. But I have to check all my cards. Any cars that have open loads you can see, I have to check to see whether the loads need to be removed from them, or if a load's got to be put into them. You know, some flat cars might have to have a pipe load, some gondolas may have to have a pipe load, or whatever, scrap load. So I have to check each car, open car, before they go into staging to make sure they're going to have the proper load or be empty when they return to the layout again. Hope you understand that. So anyway, I will be taking this scrap metal load out of this gondola before it goes to staging. This one just so happens to have a little nail in it where I can pull it right out. And there's the load. And I just have a little special container to throw all these loads in. This one's an Athearn car, so I have on the bottom of it an Athearn 50-footer, so I know what kind of car this load goes into. Very simple. Ain't that genius? Here's my scrap metal industry in the Marshalltown industrial area. And look at there. There's all my little scrap loads. The containers. Some fit MDC, Walthers, Athearn. I mean, there's the scrap loads. And over here's my gravel loads I keep right here. So when my cars are delivered to my aggregate place, I just pull the loads out of them so they actually leave empty. And I just throw them in the box here. And all the cards are turned and put back into the box for track number 8. These are all the cars we just picked up. So I've turned all the waybills in them, and they're all in the proper order. All the cars and the cards match up, and so they're back in the box, and I'm ready to take this train back to staging area. So the last thing I have to do is I make a new engine card, and it will be turned to a green one, and instead of the yellow one, it will be set up for Council Bluffs the next time it comes out. It'll be a westbound train. So I'll take care of making a new card for that. Here's my old Chicago card. Here I have a stack of blanks, so I'm going to pull out a green blank and make it the new Council Bluffs. So basically all we'll do is just copy all the information off of this card, except we'll change the date and the number of cars, and of course make it Council Bluffs. So I'll write all that information on there. So I have transposed all the information from that card over to this card, save the date and the Council Bluffs and the number of cars. And that bottom date, there's 122, that was January 22. I changed the idle cars out. I like to mix those up, change them around. So as my train goes into staging, there it's going back through the tunnel, heading westbound now. So when it comes back up onto the layout again, it'll be a westbound train. That is a long train. I don't know how many. That's probably about 45 cars, 47, somewhere around there. I didn't count them. So it's going into the staging area now. So all we'll do is I have a little spray bottle of water and a paper towel, and I'll wipe the yellow card clean, and it'll become a blank card and ready for its next use. Pretty simple. So now we will put this card in the proper box, track number 8, where that train is going. Got the right date on it. Today is 5/17/22. These are the cars that I dropped off. that are on my receiving track. So they will go into this box right here. Here, I usually turn them around so that they know they've got to be sorted out by the yard crew. Now when I do all this operation, I usually don't turn these trains during an operating session when I have 3 or 4 guys up here, because it just congests things up too much. Like I said, I just turn them later. I just take them right back to staging the direction they came in, and we just keep on operating, because there's just too much other stuff going on up here during a session. So anyway, my train is heading into staging. You can see on this camera right here, it's going back into the ladder that it came out of earlier, and I'll monitor it till it gets completely in, and then I'll shut it down, and that'll be the end of that till we bring it up, maybe, who knows, next year. I don't run enough lately, so my trains don't get cycled as often as they used to. Train's still working its way into the staging area. Picking up the westbound is the same scenario, you just going in a different direction. I would just find my oldest date for the Council Bluffs train on the green card. So there's the caboose. It's pretty much in the staging area. All my Fallon lights should be out. Everything should be clear. This is the head end of the train I just brought in. I try to bring the engine about as close to the end of the ladder that I can. I like to be able to get my hands on them in case something happens, an MU problem. I like to be able to grab a hold of the engine, so bring them as far to the front as I can. I don't know if you guys can see that on this video, that coming in. I got the screen enlarged on this particular camera, so I can see it. I think you can see that. So that's pretty much all the way in, and to where I can get to it if I need to. Don't really have much problem with it, but just in case. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little overview of running a staging area. Adds a lot to the operations, and I know some people use the JMRI, the computer program, for doing operations. I can't stand that program. I've used it. We used to use it at our club, and I just love this card system a lot better. It's perpetual and it's very easy to use. So I like it better than the JMRI. We've had a lot of problems with it at Clubhouse. As a matter of fact, they quit using it and went back to this, and went to the card system at our Model Railroad Club. So anyway, that was the overview. Hope you enjoyed the video, and appreciate you guys watching. Talk to you later.